sometimes we, just by our presence online and by what is the perceived employer branding, we could also sometimes exclude candidates. And I know you are passionate about this. We discuss about that, and you have a webinar coming up. Can you just share with us a little bit about that? Like, what do you see being the challenge when we exclude some people just because we're not inclusive enough in all of our communications?
Basically, why we chose that topic is because I think we've all experienced it in like recruitment processes or already before when we interact with companies, that hey, this company speaks to me. They are a great fit for somebody who's international, for somebody who wants to have like a, maybe a fast career, or you feel like some company doesn't speak to me. And often it's small things that actually make that difference, and that's something we want to talk about and tickle out, like how can you attract diverse talent, and how can you identify first the talents you want to speak to, and then how can you actually make them become a fan of your company. And like I can give you a very like small example from myself. Like I do speak Swedish, but if a company communicates in Swedish, but I would be the target group, like an international that moved to the city like 5 years ago, and all employer branding content is in Swedish, I would probably not interact that much because it just wouldn't speak to me on like the first sight, and we just have a couple of seconds to convince somebody that this is relevant for you. So if Swedish speaking people as your target group, you nailed it. If you want to attract international talent, then maybe you should change your language to English. So that's a very basic example. We're going to go through much more, but just to visualize what we mean by that. Um,
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I can confirm what you're just saying because I also moved to Sweden 6 years ago. So I'm in the
Right.
same situation. I speak Swedish, but you know, I have sometimes some principles that it comes difficult for me to share in Swedish. And if you're trying to communicate something to me in maybe if this is just a word or two that doesn't connect with me, then you lost me. So absolutely, I can
Exactly.
see how just by thinking like for whom is this created, like who are we targeting, and just having that. So absolutely.